What is going on, TryHard Podcast listeners? We are back. Man, it's been a minute. It's been a minute, let me tell you. It's been a minute. Listen, I'm a little fatter than the last time you guys saw me, but that's okay. All right, that's all right. Just know we are back. All right? I've been wanting to bring the podcast back for a little bit now. I just been busy, other shit, all right? Other things in my life. Streaming a lot, doing a little bit of YouTube stuff, but I wanted to bring the TryHard Podcast back. There's been a lot of fun stuff going on within the CDL community, and I thought today would be a good opportunity to bring it back. In fact, I was going to bring it back with an interview. We had an interview thing lined. You know what? We'll get into it in a little bit. We'll get into it. But anyway, guys, welcome back. Another episode of the TryHard Podcast, man. I've missed talking to you guys. Like I said, I've been busy, right? I'm a dad. I'm a grown-ass man. I have other things I have to do. On top of, I stream every day, twitch.tv/GarzAbeats. So I'm still active in the community, right? If you follow me on Twitter, you know. I thought today would be a good day to bring the podcast back. And I'm going to try to keep these episodes, man. Like, I'm going to try to keep these episodes to like 45 minutes or less. Again, I want to do daily podcasts, right? At the very least, you know, every other day, just to keep the content flowing. We are still on video, right? I am on YouTube, YouTube/GarzAbeats. Everything GarzAbeats, all right? On Twitch, on Kick, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere, all right? Everywhere. In your headphones, the TryHard Podcast, all right? All right, guys, before we get started, I want to remind you, if you're watching on YouTube, please drop a sub. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to this, drop a follow, drop a sub, rate, do all that fun stuff. If you're watching, if you watch me on Twitch, if you want to watch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/GarzAbeats, go check it out, all right? Let's get into it, guys. Listen, it's been a crazy past 2 days within the Call of Duty community. We're fresh off of Major 2. Of course, the Major 2 winners were Atlanta FaZe once again. We're not going to get too much into Major 2, but we'll touch on it a little bit, just to give you guys kind of the background and everything that's happened, that's led up to everything that's happened in the last 2 days. We had Major 2, Atlanta FaZe 1, defeating defeating the Vancouver Surge 4-0 in the best of 7 series. I would say the big takeaways for Major 2 were kind of the resurgence of Vancouver Surge and the Toronto Ultra. The biggest, I would say, probably the biggest flop of the tournament was more likely, I think everybody can agree, LA Thieves were the biggest flop, losing first round of the major and getting sent down to losers bracket by Boston Breach. Then we saw the Thieves kind of make a run through the losers bracket until they played Ultra, and Ultra just 3-0'd them. Did they 3-0 them? Ultra won, regardless. Ultra won pretty easily. Again, a big letdown from the LA Thieves. Obviously, that's the team that everyone was touting as the super team, and really the team that was gonna kind of be the ones that are gonna take down FaZe, right? FaZe and then played Major 1. FaZe, won that round 11 S&D on Skyline, taking the 1-0 lead over LA Thieves on LAN, and we kind of expected the same thing coming into Major 2. We are all looking at LA Thieves. LA Thieves, during the split from Major 1 to Major 2 with the online matches, LA Thieves have been by far not even close to the best team in the game when it came to online play. So we kind of expected them to be in grand finals. And, just off of the natural state of Call of Duty, we always expect Atlanta FaZe to be a contender. And we kind of were, I was at least, was hoping and wishing we were going to get a round 2 of Atlanta FaZe versus LA Thieves in the grand finals of Major 2. And only one team, did what they were supposed to do and made themselves and took themselves back to grand finals for Major 2, which was Atlanta FaZe. Of course, LA Thieves losing that easily in the first round, and then making a little losers run, and then losing to Toronto Ultra. It was a bit shocking to see Thieves bow out of the tournament without making the grand final. Again, that LA Thieves team, with Ghosty, Envoy, HyDra, and Scrap. For that LA Thieves team, let me tell you something. For that LA Thieves team, it's grand finals or the entire tournament's a failure. If that team is not in grand finals, the tournament was a failure. All right. We don't expect them to win every tournament, but we expect them to at least be a contender in every tournament. So for them to come to Major 2 and not even make it to grand finals, if you're an A-Shot, if you're an LA Thieves fan, that's a huge, huge disappointment. So, obviously they have some things they got to work on. They just look flat in that loser semifinals. They just look flat. They didn't look like themselves. They looked like they just, for some reason, they didn't show up as what it is. You know what I mean? But we're not going to get too much into that. LA Thieves were by far the biggest bust of Major 2 by far. The biggest surprises, in my opinion, the biggest surprising team as far as the team that stayed consistent the entire tournament and made a nice run was Toronto Ultra. Toronto Ultra, going from the split of the online matches, I think we all can agree they were not looking the best. They still looked like they were one of the better teams, but the way they were playing, the online just didn't seem like they were we didn't expect them to make this huge push in Major 2 like they did. They obviously eliminated Optic Gaming and then taking down LA Thieves. I think the big takeaway for this Toronto Ultra team is just the surge and the kind of crowning of JoeDeceives as one of the best players in the game. That kid's just been frying. He's been going crazy, man. He looks like a top 3 SMG right now. And people forget he's like 20, right? He's like 20, 19, 20. I think he's 20, something like that. He's in his 20s, early 20s. So to see him kind of thriving in BO6 and thriving with this team, and he's had series against some of the better teams in the game, and he's looked like one of the top 3 SMG for sure. So it's pretty cool to see Toronto Ultra and JoeDeceives doing well. So I would say Toronto Ultra was, in my opinion, was like the team that we all kind of expected to like not do good. Just the way their trajectory was going, right? They're a good team, but the last couple weeks leading into the major, they were very, very spotty on how they played, and they kind of proved us all wrong because they came out shooting, and they were they did their thing, getting all the way to losers semifinals. So losers finals, right? Yeah, losers finals. They got to losers finals. And then we had, we'll talk about the Vancouver Surge, another team that we all kind of were spotty on. Obviously, they had the really good split with the online matches, beating FaZe and the online matches. The biggest takeaway I got from that was I thought this team was going to live and die on how Neptune played on LAN. All right, we all seen Neptune online, and he's been doing his thing. It looks like this game fits his play style with the movement, the omni movement, all that stuff. And my biggest takeaway with the Surge team and Neptune was, if Neptune can carry over his online play onto LAN, this team should be a contender, right? Typically in the past, Neptune has always played very well online, and then when it came to LAN, he's always had a huge drop off. So I think most people were kind of like iffy on kind of picking or backing this Surge team to make any kind of move as far as like upwards. And then, again, to me, it all depended on how Neptune was going to play. And I think we could, after Major 2, I think we can all put those worries to rest, because Neptune really showed that whatever situation he had in the past where he could never translate his online play into the LAN play, whatever he did to fix it, he fixed it. Coming off of Major 2, I think we all can agree he looked good. Obviously, his stats weren't as good as they were online, but they were still good, and he didn't hurt the team. He helped the team, right? And again, coming from his past, it's always been the opposite. So the fact that he helped his team on LAN and didn't have a major drop off, I think is a huge reason why they made the run that they had and made the run that they made. They obviously made it to the grand finals. So they played FaZe in the winners finals, which was arguably the most exciting match of the entire tournament. They took FaZe to a round 5 a match, and round 11 S&D, right? Was it round 11 S&D? It was round 11 S&D. FaZe obviously coming out with the W and stamping another grand finals appearance. So then Surge dropped down to play Ultra in the winners in the losers finals. They took care of Ultra pretty handily. Then we got a rematch of FaZe against Surge. And what we all expected, I expected, the winners finals match between FaZe and Surge was a banger, right? By far the best. It was by far the best match of the entire tournament. So I kind of expected something similar in the grand finals. Come grand finals, it wasn't even a match. FaZe looked way different. FaZe looked like they were ready to play. Surge looked like they ran out of steam. And to be fair, man, with as much experience as FaZe has in grand finals, then you have a team like Surge, guys who haven't played in grand finals before, guys who haven't had too much success on LAN. A lot of these guys were in their first grand finals. FaZe just had too much experience, too much ice, and just took care of business pretty easily. It was kind of a letdown. To be honest with you, I'm a FaZe fan. I wanted FaZe to win, but it was a kind of a boring grand finals for Major 2. So, that sucked, but, it is where it is. Atlanta FaZe take another major win. They're back-to-back LAN champions. If we're counting EWC, we're talking EWC, we're talking Major 1, and we're talking Major 2. That's back-to-back LAN champions. All right? This team, when it comes to Atlanta FaZe, we might be seeing a special season out of them. We might be seeing it. Whatever problems they had in the past of not being able to win grand finals, it seems like whatever they brought in like a sports psychiatrist type of person to help them with those problems. It seems like it's working, because when it comes to grand finals, the switch has flipped for them when it comes to grand finals. All right, they're not having the problems they were having before. Everybody's showing up, and if someone doesn't show up, someone else pops off and picks up the slack. You guys, I think Atlanta FaZe might have an historic season this year. All right. They already got 2 major wins. All right. Obviously, going into Major 3, they're going to be a favorite. And I'm excited, man. I think this team could do something special this year. They could do something special. I'm not going to jinx it. I don't want to talk about too much. But I think they might do something special. All right? We're going to leave it like that. So your Major 2 champions, Atlanta FaZe. GG's to everybody in the chat. Anyway, we'll get right back into... So I'm not even going to touch on Optic, pause, as far as like previous to Major. Obviously, the big talking point in the entire community has been Optic. Optic struggles online with the roster changes, with the team had just looked horrible, right? They looked horrible. Obviously, they brought in Skyz like 2 or 3 days before the major, Kenny deciding to step away from the team. Kenny hasn't been having the best season. We've learned a lot the last 2 days on kind of reasons why, and we'll get into that a little bit here. But Kenny stepping away from Optic, was it like 3 days before the major? Something like that? 2 or 3 days before the major. That was pretty big news. And Kenny's not a dumb guy. He could see the writing on the wall. He knew that his time was up. It's unfortunate because that roster, I've had a lot of opinions on that roster. I think a lot of the problems stem from things outside of the game. And I know I've gotten a lot of flack from that opinion on Twitter or social media. This stuff with Pred and just the rumors, and I look at it from Kenny's point of view, where he maybe didn't agree with Pred on whatever the situation was when Pred left and Huke came in. Kenny still wasn't playing at the level we expect him to, but at least when Huke was there, he wasn't as bad as he was when Pred came back. You know what I mean? So that to me tells me that maybe Kenny didn't agree with Pred coming back. Long story short, Skyz comes in. Skyz a great player, but again, another player that was struggling from another team got dropped. But as far as like who they could pick up to kind of give them a good chance, Skyz was really the best option. As more details came out, it was kind of Kenny that decided to step away from the team, rightfully so. I guess he kind of knew he was going to get dropped, so just said, "F it, I'll just take it into my own hands." Which you got to respect that in a way, right? Not being scared to kind of just move on. And so fast forward to today. All right, today's been a lot of rumors were swirling around about roster changes. Listen, if you follow my stream, twitch.tv/GarzaBeats, whenever I get intel, you guys, I just say it. I just give, if it's not like solid intel, I won't give the full thing, but I'll give you pretty much the overall basis of what I hear is going on, right? So a lot of these things I've been talking in my stream at, like on that Monday following the major, it all started happening the last 2 days. I knew there was a lot of roster stuff going on, a lot of roster changes, a lot of moving parts. Teams that we expected to move ended up moving. So today was a big deal. We were hearing rumors of Falcons signing an NA team. I know the rumor with the Falcons right now is possibly keeping on one of their original players and then signing 3 other NA teammates to go along their one guy. With Falcons being the worst, the worst statistics team, standings wise team in the league, it's only right. I applaud the Falcons organization for attempting to do what they were trying to do with the whole, building up their region, all that stuff, right? But they have to take a more realistic approach with it, right? Fielding a team of your regional players to compete against the best Call of Duty players in the world, it's just not a viable solution right now. It's not a viable way to build your region. You know what I mean? You got to build it like everyone else built theirs from the ground up, right? You got to build up your amateur scene, and you got to work that whole entire player base into eventually being pro players, right? And to be fair, Falcons bought into the league. They got the money. It's their spot. They can do what they want with it. But I think they quickly realized that, this shit is not going to work out. And shout out to the players that they had on their roster. Those guys are all nice guys. You could tell they liked the game. And to be fair, they were getting better. Even though it was just a little bit, they were getting better. But if you know anything about the people who own the Falcons, there's a reason why that organization, they field other esports and their other teams win because they field the best of the best, right? It was always kind of a thing that everyone was confused on why they didn't do the same thing with their Call of Duty team. And, I respect them trying to do the whole build up our region thing, but obviously that wasn't going to work out, man. And from what I've been hearing, the rumors, they've chalked that plan and now they're looking to sign players. I don't know who, heard a couple rumblings, but we'll get into that. On top of that, we heard the rumor of the Royal Ravens picking up, or we heard the rumor of Royal Ravens bringing on Kenny. So that was the rumor. I believe Breaking Point, Tactical Rab, and all those guys made a report on it, like a little thing on their webpage. And then fast forward a couple hours later, I hear that Kenny is not joining the Ravens due to contract differences. So I think there's obviously more to that story. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not. That's not my business. That's on them. Maybe the Ravens. First of all, hold up. Okay, contract differences. I'm confused about the contract differences. All right, I'm confused by that. If you're the Ravens, okay, and you're Kenny, what's the like difference? I don't understand. Ravens, you need a player. Kenny, you need a team. Kenny, with all due respect, I hope you're not asking anything crazy. Have you seen your stats? Kenny, Quavo, Dinosaur Guy, Optic car rap guy. Have you seen your stats? If your stats are like that, what are you asking for that the Ravens can't agree to? Someone needs to figure that out. Again, Kenny, have you seen your stats this year? What are you asking for that the Ravens don't want to give you? You must be asking for some crazy shit for them to be like, no, we're good. I think whoever Kenny's agent is, if that was on you, you need to rethink how you represent your player. Because you should have told your player, hey, bro, we put up a fucking 0.3 or whatever. Like, let's just get what we can get. Let's not try to overextend. Let's not try to reach. Let's just try to get on a roster and build your stock back up. Because Kenny, here, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna talk like Kenny's agent. All right, I'm gonna talk like Kenny's agent. All right, here we go. Yo, Quavo, what's going on, bro? You good? You good? All right. Listen. By the way, were those pants at the bar? Were those really dirty, or did you buy them like that? Anyway, listen. So we got a team that's interested in you. Yeah, that's good news. That's good news. We got a team that's interested in you. Now, what should we ask for? What should we ask for? Now, Kenny, don't forget, you've had one of the worst seasons we've ever seen out of a player. So let's not try to reach for the stars here. Well, I think me as your agent, Kenny, what we should try to do is just take what we can get, right? In a respectful way. And let's get you on a team and let's build your stock back up. Because right now, we need your stock up here. And right now your stock's literally basement level. All right. So we need to get that back up there. So we just got to get you on a roster. Okay. That's what Kenny's agent should have said. That's what Kenny and the agent should have agreed upon. Kenny, your stock is at the lowest possible it could be at. All right? Get what you can get on a team, and start building that shit back up. That's what they should have been talking about, in my opinion. All right? In my opinion. That's what they should have been talking about. And if you weren't, then, I mean, God willing. But, so yeah. So Kenny and the Royal Raven things come out. And I guess it falls through. All right? Falls through. Whatever. All good. Falls through. Now it makes you wonder, where's Kenny going to go? Right? First of all right, I'm not, it's too much to talk about. That goes back into my rant and my theory about Kenny not liking Pred, because Kenny came out with a statement saying that he can sit back and think about his mental health, blah, blah, blah. And just like that, after Major 2, he's about to get on a roster. So again, that goes back to my theory. The reason why he left Optic is because he didn't like Pred, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. We won't get into that. We'll talk about that later. So that's Kenny news. And then we hear more news. I hinted on my stream that we had some challenger players getting picked up. If you guys don't know, the Challenger Open champions of the Major 2 were Omit, which was Arcides, Brack, Johnny, and oh my God, I forgot the last guy. Forgive me, guys. Anyway, it was Omit, all right? So I already knew that Arcides was getting picked up. Then I kind of expected, so I had a podcast, back to my podcast story, guys. So I was going to interview one of those guys for the first episode back in the podcast. And I let them know, hey, I won't talk about no Rostamania stuff. And two of the guys were like, yeah, bet for sure. Yeah, don't, because, in case some shit pops up. So I was understanding of that. So then we agreed to do it the following day, which was yesterday. And I hit him up. We had been talking. I hit him back up and said, yo, what time you want to do it today? No response. Hit him back up a little bit later. Yo, what time you want to do it today? No response. So that to me was letting me know, all right, he got picked up. All right. So respectfully, I get it. You don't want to get on and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, yo, at least let me get the first interview when the announcement comes out. Laugh out loud. And they sent me a winky face. So that kind of confirmed it to me that they're getting picked up. So we're going to have around 3 players from the Omit team that just won the Major 2 Open Championship getting pulled up. So I'm going to assume it's going to be, Arcides, Johnny, and Brack will be the 3 players. Not confirmed, by the way. Not confirmed, just my assumption. The 3 players that have gotten picked up. Now, where they're going to land, I'm not sure. I've seen a report of Johnny going to Gentlemates. In fact, Gentlemates just a little bit ago announced, or Lynz, who was kind of their guy, kind of, is it Lynz? Hold on a minute. Johnny is going to Gentlemates. That's the thing. Yeah, Johnny is replacing Lynz on Gentlemates. All right. Shout out to Johnny at shout out to Johnny. Johnny has he went crazy in challengers, and it's good to see him get a shot with a CDL team. I think he's gonna do good. I think he's gonna do great. This is another game where his play style kind of fits good with this game. So shout out to Johnny. Again, we're not gonna get too much into that. We're just gonna kind of touch on the roster stuff that's been happening today. So we got Johnny replacing Lynz. Then we had, I think the biggest surprise was Optic Gaming comes out and releases Pred. All right. Now, during Major 2, Optic still looked horrible, but arguably their best player, the person who was actually shooting back, was Pred. So that was kind of surprising to some, and it was one of those things like, what, like, again, something I hinted that something might be happening with that. So Pred gets released from Optic today, and then shortly after, well, first of all, the rumor came out last night, and then today it happened, and then shortly after, Optic announces they brought back Huke. So the new Optic roster is Shotzzy, Huke, Skyz, and Dashy. All right. Now, I think right now for Optic, if you're an Optic fan, it's hard to tell Optic fans to be patient. It's hard. They've been patient a while. You know, I'm not a Greenwall member. I'm not an Optic fan. But I feel for their fan base. I really do. Because they've been patient for a while. They've been pulled around for a while. All right. They've been made to like believe things that aren't true. All right. When we had the whole Pred thing in the beginning, when Pred left the first time, they were forced to believe, the Greenwall were forced to believe, oh, he left because of mental health issues. Brother, come on, right? But again, we're not going to get into all that, right? It's not, whatever, we're not getting into all that. But with this new team, Skyz, Huke, Dashy, and Shotzzy, you're going to give it a go. Right now, they're still in qualification position for champs, but obviously, if they continue to go downhill, that becomes a scary situation. I mean, could you imagine going from the year before winning the world championship to the next year not even qualifying for the world championship? I mean, has there ever been a bigger downfall? In Call of Duty, for sure, it's never been a bigger downfall. But I would say in anything competitive, period, sports, period, that's something we've never seen before. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're an Optic fan, you just don't even think about winning champs. Don't think about that. Think about just being there. If your team can stay and hold their position, I think that's a win for the season, especially coming off of what y'all have been through this year, right? And I think it's something that the Green Wall and the fans and the players kind of have to come to terms with. Like, we're far behind from FaZe. We're far behind from Thieves. We're far behind from Surge. We're far behind from Ultra. We're not going to catch those guys. We're more than likely not going to have enough time to practice as a team, to scrim as a team, to be able to compete with those guys. Because those guys are only getting better. FaZe is only getting better. Thieves are only getting better. Ultra's only getting better. Surge is only getting better. Shit, Boston Breach are getting better. All right? You have all these teams getting better. And if you're Optic and you're the Green Wall and you've seen the amount of roster changes your team has had, you got to be realistic about it. You have to be. You can't expect them to just turn it around in less than a week. It's not going to happen. Especially not with this game. So if you're a Greenwall fan, you're an Optic player, you're an Optic supporter, whatever, you should just be hoping for them to hold their champ spot. Hold your spot, qualify for champs, and then just be happy with that. Be happy with that. I know it's hard to hear, but just be happy with that, man. Don't try to do too much. Because if you try to do too much and you expect too much, you're going to be let down. And that's when the hate comes. That's when the rude comments coming out of the posts. You know what I mean? Shame on all those like content creators and the bloggers and just always pushing this narrative of this new Optic roster is going to really do some crazy things. Just today, the team got announced today, and I'm already seeing screenshots of their first fucking scrim. Like, you guys, stop. Just stop it. Stop. Like, why? Why are you know what I mean? Like, why are you guys going there? Just stop. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, don't get your hopes up. Just relax. Why get your hopes up judging off the entire, the previous Major, the major after before that, the split. Like, you guys have been let down a lot. What is it going to take for you guys to just be like, you know what? I'm a fan. I'm going to root for them, but I'm going to stop expecting so much. When are you going to realize that you got to just chill? All right. Here's a quick little clip of a Shotzzy commenting on, on Pred getting dropped. Pred and Shotzzy close together. They were duo. They were, sub duo. So it's interesting to hear what Shotzzy says about this. Let's check it out.
AG did for Optic, man. Whenever, listen, bro. Listen. Y'all see the relationship me and AG have? Like, bro, we were fucking brothers, dude. Like, I love AG. Sometimes it's just business, bro. That's the way I look at this shit. Unfortunately. Unfortunately.
So just business. Just business. Hey, listen, you gotta respect that. All right, you gotta respect it. Coming from Shotzzy, like, that's what it is. It's just business. It's not. None of that shit's personal. It's just, bro, I want to win. And right now, with you back in the team, we're not. We look worse. You know what I mean? And it's weird because Pred out of the 4 Optic players, he did play the best. In Major 2. So, I'm hearing out here. We hear a comment from who we hear coming from? We hear a comment from Karma, the Optic coach, on just about the entire roster changing all this shit. Here we go.
Do I lay it out in as simple as I can?
Yes, if you'd like to. I mean, you don't have to give us too much, but
I mean, this just had to happen. If people are upset, if they're not, I'm sorry, but we just had a shitty stage, really shitty stage. And to be honest, we weren't getting any better.
Yep.
And we tried just about everything.
Yep.
We thought about a lot of things. It's not like it was just we fucking Thanos snapped, I
mean, that's what I was saying.
Really did.
It was like, bro, if we kept the roster and these problems just continued and then we go into stage 3 with the same roster, it's like, fuck, dude. If the problems don't get fixed, then we're still in it and we're fucked.
We definitely didn't want it to get to this point. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
In a perfect world, nothing ever changed. And
that's Karma talking about the whole situation. Again, it's tough for the Optic fan base, but it is what it is. You guys will be fine. Anyway, guys, again, I don't want to keep this episode too long. What else are we talking about? What are we talking about? Just, again, little roster mania stuff. It's still up in the air where Kenny's going to go. Still up in the air where Pred's going to go. I could see a world where Pred or Kenny go to the Falcons. I see a lot of people saying, why don't Pred and Kenny go together? Again, according to my theory, my assumption, my opinion, I don't think Kenny wants to play with Pred, vice versa. So for people saying that Kenny and Pred should go to Falcons, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. I'm assuming either Kenny or Pred go to the Falcons, and then Falcons pick up two more challenger players to round up their NA roster. Either way, whoever the Falcons pick up, it'll be better than their current team, so that'd be a plus. Now, the announcement for Gentlemates has yet to be revealed, so that should be coming in the next day or so, if not tonight or tomorrow morning. Arcity's going to Rocker, I believe it is. Is it? Arcity's? I'm pretty sure Arcity's going to Rocker. Let me check real quick. I'm pretty sure he's going to Rocker. That was the rumor, right? Hold on a minute. Damn it, where the hell is it? Hold up. I'm pretty sure it was Rocker. Right? I'm pretty sure it was Rocker. Yeah. RCD expected to sign with Minnesota Rocker. Shout out to Ronnie Intel. So that should be that information or that announcement should be within the next day or so. So yeah, a lot of exciting stuff going on within the Call of Duty community, Call of Duty scene. Look what you did, Atlanta FaZe. Look what you did, Simp. Look what you did, Drazah. Look what you did, Cellium MVP. Look what you did, aBeZy. Look what you did, Atlanta FaZe. You literally made everybody look like children at Major 2, and you just blew up the entire league. Should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be ashamed of yourselves. All right, guys, we're out of here. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, drop a sub. If you want to see me on Twitch, I'm live every night, twitch.tv/GarzTheBeats. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever, TikTok, wherever, GarzTheBeats, drop a follow. The TryHard Podcast, drop a follow, drop a sub. Rate the podcast, all that good shit. Recommend me to your friends. Daily Call of Duty podcast. We're back. Hope you guys have a beautiful night. I'll talk to you guys later, all right? God bless.